In the modern world, nearly every object is defined by a cycle of launch, obsolescence, replacement. Phones evolve yearly, computers quarterly, and software updates arrive almost daily. Yet amid this storm of innovation exists an object that has barely changed its form for more than 70 years, the BIC Cristal. Since 1950, over 100 billion units have been produced, each nearly identical to the last. No Pro version. No Crystal 2. Lean. It remains a transparent plastic tube, a blue cap, a tiny rolling ball, and it still works flawlessly. This raises a question that feels more philosophical than industrial. If a design reaches perfection, can it still evolve? The BIC Cristal is not merely a ballpoint pen. It is a lesson in functional design reaching absolute stability, a kind of formal immortality where technological progress becomes unnecessary. The BIC Cristal was not born from aesthetics, but from mathematics and mass production. Its hexagonal body, a detail most people overlook, is the key to its functionalism. First, the hexagon prevents the pen from rolling off a table. Second, it reflects the history of wooden pencils, which adopted hexagonal cross-sections to reduce material waste when shaping round timber. When Marcel BIC transitioned to plastic, he preserved this form not out of nostalgia, but because form follows function. On the production level, the hexagonal geometry allows pen barrels to pack tightly within injection molds, reducing material waste and optimizing shipping efficiency. It also improves grip ergonomics. The flat edges create subtle friction against the skin, allowing a secure hold without requiring rubber coatings. From a geometric perspective, the BIC Cristal resembles the honeycomb of handwriting, the simplest structure capable of maximizing space, cost efficiency, and usability. Here, design is not about decorative creativity, but about energy optimization, where shape becomes the logical outcome of necessity. The BIC Cristal contains two tiny holes that most of us have never noticed. One sits on the barrel, the other on the cap. Both are small marvels of micro-engineering. The hole in the barrel balances pressure between the ink reservoir and the outside environment. Without it, changes in temperature or altitude, such as during air travel, could cause expanding air to force ink outward.
This mechanism resembles the venting systems in aircraft
both
prevent
fuel
spillage while allowing airflow,
preventing liquid flow from becoming unstable due to pressure differences measured in mere pascals. The second hole on the cap carries a humanitarian purpose rather than a mechanical one. In 1991, several choking incidents involving children who swallowed pen caps forced manufacturers to rethink safety design. BIC introduced ventilated caps that allow a minimal airflow if accidentally inhaled. That tiny 6mm opening has saved countless lives. These two holes symbolize the philosophy of human-centered design engineering, not just for performance, but for coexistence with people. They reveal that sophistication often lies not in adding features, but in removing risks. The BIC Cristal is therefore not an inert object, but the culmination of decades of learning from both success and accident. Perhaps no everyday object is borrowed and lost as often as a ballpoint pen. Yet strangely, few people feel anger when one disappears. This is a fascinating cultural paradox, a shift from owned object to consumable tool. During the era of fountain pens, a pen was a personal possession engraved with names, carefully maintained, sometimes passed down through generations. Losing one meant losing prestige, but with BIC, the value of a single pen is so low that reclaiming it feels unnecessary. This reflects the rise of disposable culture. Ballpoint pens became intermediaries circulating between people, borrowed, forgotten, lost, replaced endlessly. In offices, classrooms, and conferences, they form an invisible sharing infrastructure where ownership fades and functionality becomes paramount. From a psychological standpoint, the ease of losing a pen without regret reduces material attachment and enhances behavioral efficiency. Inadvertently, The ballpoint pen has taught humans how to let go, and perhaps that is why, among billions of BIC pens, none carries a personal history. Yet together, they tell a collective story when an object becomes perfect enough. People no longer think about it. The 21st century has seen the rise of keyboards, touchscreens, and artificial intelligence. Yet each year, more than 20 billion ballpoint pens are still sold worldwide. What keeps them alive amid a sea of technology? The answer lies in tactile feedback, the deep connection between hand, eye, and brain. When writing by hand, the friction between the rolling ball and paper generates a complex chain of neural responses. Both hemispheres of the brain engage, one handling motor control, the other encoding language. Research from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology suggests that handwriting strengthens long-term memory more effectively than typing, because the brain remembers motion as well as symbols. Furthermore, real ink on paper gives ideas physical presence, something screens cannot fully replicate. When you write, you touch your thoughts and leave behind a tangible trace. In the digital age, the ballpoint pen remains a physical anchor of cognition, preserving the connection between ideas and action, between data and memory. In that sense, the BIC Cristal is more than a writing tool. It is one of the last analog relics within a digital society. Designer Antoine de Saint-Exupéry once wrote, "Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away." The BIC Cristal embodies that philosophy. It does not need a new version because it has reached radical minimalism, affordable enough for anyone to own, durable enough to last, precise enough to avoid failure. In a world obsessed with innovation, the BIC Cristal stands as a symbol of consistency, a reminder that some things do not need to race forward. Sustainability, in this case, comes not from advanced technology, but from understanding human needs with clarity. Every time you sign a name, sketch a diagram, or write a journal entry, you are holding an invisible legacy of the 20th century, a design so complete that improvement itself begins to feel unnecessary.